Hey everyone, it's Jonathan, and welcome back to Wonderland Wednesday. Today we're finishing up our discussion with Sam and Jenna from the Curiouser Archive, talking all about lost and missing versions of Alice in Wonderland. In this episode, we're talking about everything that's left, since these days it's a lot more rare to just completely lose a film or TV episode, but it does happen. So this episode will cover the most recent versions to have gone missing, one from 1999 and one from 2004. Before we continue, I do want to briefly mention a couple more that we either forgot to talk about or were discovered after we recorded. One was called A Dream of Alice, and that one was from 1982, and all that Sam and Jenna have from that is a cover image of the Radio Times and a clipping of a TV listing. They have no idea what this program was, but they think it might possibly have been some kind of Alice-inspired jazz concert set to illustrations, but there's really almost no info available as to what this thing could possibly have been. The other one was from a Polish TV program called Teatr Telewizji. My apologies to the entire country of Poland for butchering that. I'm sure I did not pronounce it correctly. They have some decent images from that show, nothing else. There's a good number of images though, and it looks like it could have been pretty decent. I like most of the costumes that I'm seeing here, aside from one that appears to be a very creepy dormouse. But the rest of them look pretty good, and I hope that ends up being one that we rediscover someday. Stranger things have happened. We'll talk about it briefly later, but back in 2017, I covered a series of Alice-inspired music videos from Ukraine that I found on YouTube, which led to one of my viewers finding the whole movie. So, who knows, maybe something like that could happen again. One of these days I should review that movie. Anyway, that's all I've got on those. Let's move on to the last two versions of Alice in Wonderland that we currently cannot watch, from 1999 and 2004. Well, from 1973, we're going to jump forward a huge amount, because these have all been kind of a few years apart. Until now, we're jumping all the way to 1999 to something called Alice Underground, which is a trailer, I think. It did not look very good.
This one is not a faithful adaptation, and it was meant to be an experimental film in still photos.
I wondered about that.
Yeah, not exactly still photos. What's the term? Oh my gosh, help me out. They filmed, but it only took a few photos.
They used a still camera and I guess took pictures at certain intervals and turned that into the film.
Yeah.
So it was sort of like a time lapse, but worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
This one is kind of interesting though, because it takes place in New York City, and we do have a Alice asleep at the Alice statue. But yeah, so New York City is supposed to be Wonderland. Alice gets lost, basically. The Cheshire Cat is the seedy bartender who seems to pop up most everywhere.
Right.
He slips a hallucinogen in her drink, so that's great.
Yeah, well.
She meets people who want to help her, corrupt her, people who don't really give a damn about her. She'll meet the Mad Hatter, the insane barfly, and his trusted sidekicks. She'll run into the White Rabbit, a call girl, and the Caterpillar is a groovy dude who smokes a hookah on a park bench, and the Tweedles are two escaped cons. So it's, and they all ask her, who are you? Oh, and there's a Jabberwock. Alice must ultimately face the Jabberwock, the dragon that stalks her through the village. What village? Confused.
Who knows?
I thought she was in NYC. And then the White Knight appears, and he's a trusty cab driver, and he helps her slay the Jabberwock. So this one, it doesn't look that great. What is interesting is apparently they were selling this on VHS tape. Their website's still up.
They had a website up where you could email them to buy the VHS.
I've never seen a secondhand copy of the VHS tape. So,
me neither. I'm guessing it didn't sell very well.
Yeah. We did find an account linked to them that updated kind of recently. So I did send a comment, and I sent some emails to some email addresses we've found. So We'll see. Probably not, but we'll see. I don't have much else to say about this one, to be honest. Like, the screen caps are kind of
Yeah. The only other thing I have to add is that this was shown at like a film festival. And I'm
a
guessing
few ones.
yeah. And I'm guessing that's kind of why this was made.
It's definitely an art film.
Yeah, it didn't feel like something that would go to like the regular theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one I would only be interested in watching just because I like watching versions of Alice. Like, if I was looking for a movie to watch, I wouldn't choose this one based on the trailer.
Yeah, I don't think I would either. But as an Alice fan,
this,
I would like to see it.
Is this like the first one where it kind of, the first Alice where it kind of goes off the rails a little bit into something more adult? Because Alice in Wonderland's not until 2009, right? Or something?
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah. So
unless you count like the Spunkmeyer version.
I don't really count that as off the rails. It's technically faithful. But I would say this is probably the first one where they like try to make it more dark, realistic in a gritty way, I guess. Anyway, so every other Alice that has tried that is copied from Alice Underground. They don't even know. All right.
Well, then the last one we have is from 2004.
Oh,
yeah.
This one's a trip.
Yeah, it's called Alice's Misadventures in Wonderland. And this is one that I was looking for like years ago because I saw a trailer somewhere. I don't know where I saw the trailer. I was like, this looks bizarre, but I was still intrigued enough to want to watch it. It doesn't look good, but
it looks pretty bad if you ask me.
But there was something about it
than Alice Underground.
Fair point, but that still doesn't make it good.
There was still something about it that made me like, I kind of want to see this just to see what they do. It just looked, I don't know, just weird and different. And the acting didn't even seem that great, but it was just, there were so many things in it that was just like, this is weird, but I kind of want to see it.
So this one, a lot of people want to see it. And I think at some points they were thinking of distributing it. I kind of get that feel from like the website they had, and they put up like a trailer in like 2007, like after they did the film festivals, which makes me think they were thinking of distributing it. But I like this. I don't know. I feel like this one would be interesting to watch. I agree with you. I don't want to say it's bad without seeing the film, but the reviews are not kind.
Yeah, the reviews are really harsh against this one, and I'm guessing that might be why they decided not to release it.
Yeah. Though to be honest, sometimes I do kind of wonder if it's just they don't get it's supposed to be, because it's definitely, I don't know, I definitely get the sense it's kind of like, do you allow cursing on your show?
I can beep it, whatever.
Okay, it's kind of like a post movie, you know, when people like,
oh yeah,
that's the sense I get. I don't think it's supposed to be taken seriously at all. And a lot of these people like mention liking Alice and wanting, you know, being excited to see like a modern version of it.
I mean, just judging by some of these pictures, I kind of agree with you. Like the one with that looks like a boxer guy or something. I don't see how you could take that seriously.
That's Herr Hatter. Hatter is German, I guess. Herr Hatter, and he's in a hot tub. So this is not a serious movie, and I mean, you could kind of tell because, like, for instance, okay, the White Rabbit is not called the White Rabbit. His character name is Gas Mask.
Right. And I mean, you see that in the trailer.
There are some interesting character names in the cast list, including Hot Tub Mom, Mumble Mouth, who knows what that is, Suicide Guy, and Suicide Observer.
Yeah, and the suicide ones are kind of interesting if you look at the picture of the castle that we have.
Yeah, I'm thinking that might be the suicide, but there's a lot of observers, so I'm not sure. What's also kind of neat about this castle picture is it's CGI, and it's actually not that bad CGI for a low budget film at the time. Like when I first looked at it, I kind of just like thought it was a real castle before like looking at it.
Same here. You actually kind of have to look at it to see that it's CGI, and it's not bad.
I'm sure in the film it's like not shown that long either. So anyway, it gives me Humpty Dumpty vibes. So I'm kind of wondering. Anyway, so there's weird stuff. It's definitely not meant to be a serious Alice adaptation.
Yeah, but it kind of seems like the people who saw it, and this was another one that was shown at like film festivals. I get the feeling that they didn't really get it.
But at the same time, a lot of them, there was one person who felt like a lot of this was like inside jokes for the crew and cast, which I don't know. There is kind of a question. I do think these people were taking it too seriously, but I do kind of wonder if part of the reason why they were taking it seriously was because it genuinely wasn't funny, unless you were in on the joke.
That could be. I mean, it's
yeah.
hard to tell without actually seeing it, but that might explain things.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think I would like to see this. I think it's interesting. And the clips we see of Maggie Henry as Alice, I think she does it well enough. Like, I can't judge her whole performance based on the trailer. She's definitely not the worst Alice I've seen.
Agreed. I think she seems okay in at least the clips we have.
Yeah. I do kind of like that she's in purple.
The one thing that stood out to me with this one is the fact that they had the drag queen of hearts.
Oh, yes.
Right.
And I feel like that seems like something that I can't believe other versions haven't done something like that before.
Yeah. And I actually think, of course, it looks cheesy in the trailer, but I think it looks like a lot of fun too. Like,
it looks like one of those movies that it's entertaining because it's bad.
Yeah.
And that would be a reason to watch it.
That could be.
I'm going to go the very light route and say that it was meant to be bad, kind of. I think it's unfair to judge it without seeing it, because I'm actually, some of the things I have seen about it, I am a little bit impressed. But yeah, it's probably just people didn't get it.
That's kind of the feeling I get just from the reviews. It seems like they were trying to treat it as like a serious film, a serious adaptation, and that's just not what this is. It seems pretty clear that that's not what this is.
Apparently it was like shown with like another really good film.
That might have been part of the problem.
Yeah. I mean, that said, I'm not saying it's like the best film ever. I haven't seen it. But I don't think it's as bad, but who knows? Who knows if we'll ever see it?
We can't really judge it without seeing it, so
yeah.
Who knows?
I'm sure a lot of Crowleyans would hate it though, if it came out.
The purists certainly would.
Yeah. I think people just need to relax a little bit. But I'm the weird kind of Crowleyan who likes faithful things, but I'm also like, yeah, have some fun with it. Do different things.
I mean, I kind of feel that way too. I don't think an adaptation has to be straight to be good.
Yeah.
I mean, that said, though, there are some playing around adaptations I don't like. Like, I don't like Burton's. But, you know, the fun thing about Alice adaptations is a different take. So I would like to see this one. At least the drag queen of hearts looks amazing. We should have more drag queens in Alice.
It just seems like a drag queen of hearts. It just seems like kind of an obvious thing for somebody to do. And when I saw that, I was like, why hasn't somebody else done this?
I mean, that's a good question. And honestly, I'd welcome more portrayals of that.
I'm trying to think if there's been previous Queen of Hearts that were played by men. It's usually the Duchess, though.
Yeah. But I mean, like, the fact that they like called it out, like, even if there was, like, that could be an interesting thing, but like they called it out as like a drag queen of hearts.
Yeah, it's definitely like going full in with it too. Yeah. Whereas even like when Duchesses were played by men, there were still faithful adaptations. Where this one it's obviously like playing into it. Drag queens are a lot of fun, so I think we should at least get like a clip show of the drag Queen of Hearts. They can at least give us that.
I would like to see that, honestly.
Yeah. And that's all we really have about this one.
This one, I feel like, of all the ones we've talked about, it feels like it's the most likely that we might see it.
It's definitely, I think it's the most interesting in a way, besides Through the Crystal Ball, my favorite.
Well, Well, this one is most recent, so I feel like it has the most chance of getting out. I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe.
Like maybe they could sell it to a streaming service.
I mean, it definitely exists, and there's probably more than one copy of it. So who knows? It could surface sometime.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't know. I don't see any harm in putting it out. It's not like they're making any money off of it now.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know why they haven't. And there are certainly people out there who have been asking for it.
Yeah, yeah. The Dark Side of the Mirror is out. This looks way better than that. So
That
I know
is
you haven't
true.
seen that yet, Jonathan. That one's really bad.
Yeah, that one's
Never
really
heard of
bad.
that one. I
Yeah,
don't even
and that
know
one
what
was
it is.
distributed.
We only found out about it recently.
It's streaming. You can watch it streaming. But anyway, it's like so that was really bad. Whereas this one, at least, it looks like it has some value as competent and funny. Definitely, the CGI is good for the time and the budget. Going around in circles. I want to see it.
I do too.
Okay, well, that's all we've got for missing Alices. There's probably more out there that we don't even know about, but these are the
Oh, no question.
19 that we know about.
Yeah, because notice it's basically all English ones.
Yeah.
And there's definitely probably been some in other countries. We just don't know about them because
Oh, no question.
I'm really bad
mean,
with languages.
Finding out about these things isn't the easiest thing because usually there's just like, oh, there's a mention in a newspaper or a magazine or something, and that's kind of how we find out about these.
Yeah.
And for other languages, one, we're not looking, but also just the language barrier makes it difficult.
Yeah, sometimes you can just find the most random things. Like back when I first started this, I guess the YouTube algorithm had me figured out, and it gave me these Ukrainian Alice in Wonderland music videos, and I realized that they were from a movie, and eventually I found the movie. And I think somebody sent it to me because I mentioned it in a video. Like I made a video about these music videos. So there's stuff all over the world.
Is that
we
the
don't know
2014 version?
Yeah.
I think it might have been. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks to you, we have that we didn't know about.
Yeah, we didn't even know about that one until you told us about it, and
yeah,
and then we found a copy.
Yeah,
I'm surprised somebody else had a copy to give you.
Me too.
I think it was on some Russian website. Like I couldn't read the webpage that they sent me.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, you never know what's out there. There's stuff all over the world that we have no idea about.
You also never know what will show up too of the things we do. Like Sam mentioned earlier, people thought 1910 was lost. We thought the 1970 French version. Like I never thought I'd be able to see that one, but we have that one now.
Sometimes all it takes is somebody to go looking for it in the right places.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining me. This was a very interesting conversation full of many rabbit trails and just a lot of interesting things that we can't watch.
Yeah. I mean, if anyone else out there does know something about these adaptations or can help us find anything else, please let us know.
Yeah, let us know. We're interested. Okay, well, that's probably going to be it for this episode. Do you guys want to let people know where they can find you if they want more content, more Alice stuff?
Hello, I am still She Haunts Me Phantomwise. You can find my old Tumblr blog. I'm not gonna do the whole thing, but it has hyphens in it. If you search up Phantomwise, you'll get it. And I have a YouTube channel, but I haven't updated it in years. I mostly work with Sam now for his channel, The Curiouser Archive, previously known as Curiouser and Curiouser. And yeah.
Okay, and Sam?
I run the YouTube channel Curiouser Archive. That's kind of where you can find me now. I used to have a Tumblr blog called Curiouser42, but I haven't updated that in years now. So mainly just run the YouTube channel. I post Alice's.
Okay. Well, I will have all that stuff linked in the description for people who want to find it.
Great, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us on here.
Yeah, thanks for joining me. We'll have to talk again sometime about some other Alice. There's a few that I would like to get to that I think you guys will be the ones to talk to about.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm up for anything, especially this year.
Okay, well, we'll see you then.
All right.
Thanks to Sam and Jenna for joining me for this last bunch of episodes on Wonderland Wednesday. I'm sure we'll have them back again in the future, but in the meantime, if you want more from them, I'll have their links in the description below. Next time we'll be moving on to another mini-series, this time with my friend Nikki from Trivial Theater. She's a big fan of quote-unquote terrible movies, so I thought she'd be the perfect co-host for a series on the worst animated versions of Alice in Wonderland. So until then, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Wonderland Wednesday.